Hi, I'm Gerard from Humboldt, Saskatchewan. This is my wife Yvette.
And
And Angela, our daughter. And we
come
from Humboldt, Saskatchewan, and we're definitely came here with some expectations of trying to improve our health. So, Yvette? Personally, I had a lot of issues, stiffness and achiness and soreness, and just attributing it to age. And then Yvette found Dr. Wolf online, and we've been listening to his one-a-days and started to realize this isn't just about me getting older. I can be retired. It doesn't mean I have to be stiff and sore. I can enjoy the rest of what I've got left for life.
I'm a practitioner therapist myself with my own practice in Humboldt, and I'm always looking into health and wellness, and I just through some of my study, I came across Dr. Wolf and the International Training Institute of Health, and from there it just inspired me to look further into it, and it took off from there, just to want to be in closer touch.
Before I came here, it's just you just assume you're getting older, so you ache. I'm 60, so it's like when you're 40, well, I'm 40, and then it becomes 50, and you just don't realize you gradually progress into getting stiffer, sore, and achier, and you just think, well, it's arthritis, it's this, it's that, I worked all my life, so those things are just going to happen. And then Yvette we start listening to Dr. Wolf, and it's like, no, you can take your life back and have a lot of the freedoms you had. You're not 25 or you're not 20, but that doesn't mean at 60 you can hardly walk or be mobile. So that was a big deciding factor. And then Yvette was looking into coming here, and just we talked about it, and it was just something we felt we should do. Well, I went to a chiropractor a few times, and just a massage therapist, and it helps for a couple days, and you slowly but you never really get to the root of certain things. There's areas I had that were really achy and sore, and you just think, well, it's just achy and sore. And I'm not one to want to take a bunch of painkillers, but that's what I think a lot of people do, is they just assume, well, we'll just take a Tylenol and that'll get me through the day. And then one Tylenol will lead to 5, and I'm not wanting to do that, so I was looking for an alternative. Well, I had a bunch of personal problems, a couple hernias, and you just assume it's all about hard work or age or whatever, right? And it's just, that's just my weak spot or whatever, and it's kind of like, no, you have other issues, that's just the result of. And so those were the big deciding factors as to say, yeah, okay, we've got to look into this more, and then we've talked about it, and of course she was following him more than me, but yeah. And she'd say, you got to clean up your diet, you have to start doing things to have that life. So that was a big change for me.
For myself, the motive was a little different, just because I'm 22, so I don't deal with a lot of stiffness, or there's not a lot of physical problems right now that I'm noticing. But coming here, first of all, listening to Dr. Wolf, mainly through Instagram or YouTube, it's been awesome because he's so inspiring, and it just, everything he was saying really resonated with me, and I really wanted to come visit his place here and in Kelowna, and get to see how the technique works a little bit, and of course to find out that I have enough stiffness in my own way, that if I let it get out of hand when I'm 60 years old, then maybe I won't be moving so well. So that's been a benefit, but getting to have your paradigm challenged, and really to be challenged in a sense where you're encouraged to find your inner self and be your best self, and to take that with you when you leave, not just the technique that you take with you, but to take your true self with you when you leave.
We're working on it. It's something that we got introduced to mainly as we got in contact, and we really started to apply some of the products that we feel could be a good support to ourselves. We always been a family that was involved with supplemental health, so that was nothing new to us. But as far as having the perfect day kind of diet, it's a change, and we're willing, you know, we're ready, and we just want to work at doing that, you know. So it's something that we feel we got to get it. It's got to be in our mind. It's a mindset. It's a lifestyle, and a lot of what goes along with that is a lot of attachment to other hang-ups or beliefs or patterns that we got into that aren't just real pretty to change.
Well, when talking to Dr. Wolf, you don't realize that old saying, the issue's in the tissue, but it really starts with your mind. The aches come out in other parts of your body or things happen, but it really starts with your mind and your mindset. So the Perfect Day diet helps you just clean up your diet, which really is an end result of your whole thought. Why, like it was said, is like, do you take out a salad, make a salad when you're depressed? Or do you actually grab a bag of chips or comfort food or whatever it is? And so that's the difference. Are you going to make those conscious choices? But why are you there in the first place? Why are you depressed? So if you can deal with those things, you're going to have a lot less issues and pain, because you're dealing with them. And like Dr. Wolf says, our subconscious rules over our conscious mind. I think he said it's 90% to 10% conscious. So you just naturally react without thinking. And we have to start thinking and then react. And we're going to have a different, and that's the whole Perfect Day diet. It really helps you. I think living the perfect day is first turn on your mind, start thinking, being aware.
It helps you to have an action plan instead of just reaction.
Yeah, for me, I feel emotionally that Dr. Wolf didn't waste any time getting to the heart of what's within, and it's an uncomfortable, some of those sessions with him are uncomfortable, but he basically helps you uncover what probably would have taken months or years for you to do on your own if you even could. So there's a certain sense of liberation from that, but now knowing there's a lot more to dive into. But it's an opportunity to be faced with, am I willing to embrace that challenge and really look within, or am I going to just clam up and continue to be exactly how I am right now and continue to be that way for the rest of my life?
That there very much is hope. You know, especially if you start to feel that you can be in touch with your authentic self and be your authentic self, when you can learn how to master your wellness, it's a power that comes within that you can't possibly feel that hopeless.
Yeah, we're conditioned to think that the answers are all outside of ourselves, that we're going to have to look here or there, whether it's a pill or a treatment, when really with coming here you're going to learn that it's taking back your own power, and that's what allows these types of treatments and techniques to have so much leverage, because you're working with them, you're being in control as opposed to being at the mercy of whatever disease or ailment you're facing.
Personally, for me, you think you're happy, but when Dr. Wolf really talks to you, you're settling. You really realize you're settling for a lot of things. You just are conditioned to believe that. And when you start to really awake and notice that maybe that isn't, I was settling for all that, but is that just what I have to settle for? There's so much more that I can have if I want it. But you have to be willing to put the work into it and say, I'm going to change and do it. And that's where Dr. Wolf really helps you want to say, are you willing to do this? And he's very blunt about it. So that's the part. You have to look at yourself. And once you've made that decision, you're going to start to change and look at yourself. You will. You will just feel a difference. And that was a big change for me.
Well, especially about training and treatment, because I've went through a lot of different courses and classes in my own training. And this is just something, it's very unique. There's nothing you can really compare it to, because it isn't something that is wanting you to just keep coming to an outside approach. It's teaching you how to use your own powers and your own authentic self, your own master of yourself can come alive. It's so much where it's no longer just a complementary kind of a treatment. And the way Sage, Dr. Wolf, or any of the staff have applied themselves or given themselves to really make the best of, help us get the most out of the treatment, it becomes a very personal kind of communication and a contact. And they're here. They're here now, and they're here for us when we go.
I feel that Sage is just awesome. The stiffness I talked about, when I can literally do a squat the next day, I haven't done that in 20 years. What can I say? Yeah, there's some exterior pain and stuff, but he's dug down to the root of a lot of things that were so deep. But they've also trying to give us the technique to be able to do it ourselves, so we don't have to come back in 6 weeks or 2 months or 4 months. If we want to learn this, we are getting this opportunity. Yes, we're not as good as he is, but we're learning, and that's the big thing. They're so supportive. You can text them, you can phone them anytime, and they'll help you with a problem, and so we can work on each other. And that's how you get a lot of you're not running to a doctor, you take care of it yourself. Our bodies can heal, so let's just try to help it along. That's the big thing, and Sage has been awesome. He's just he's just got such a good way about him, demeanor about himself, that you feel so relaxed and open about all the areas you're working on. And we just appreciate him. Or I'm speaking for myself, but that's how I feel.
That's all of us feel the same.
Yeah, Dr. Wolf, Sage, Jason, the whole team, everyone's absolutely excellent. You're told to feel right at home when you walk in, and then they make you feel right at home when you walk right in. Super knowledgeable. Sage, it's as you're working in the treatments that you're getting to learn all these tidbits, not just about the technique, but about the body. And if that's something that you're especially attuned to, then I think it's just awesome, because it's such a learning experience.
And as far as being welcomed, you do feel right at home. From the day we came, Jason came and got us into our place. Dr. Wolf was here, and we just feel at home. It is like a holiday for us. We have our day, but our evenings are just to use. There's so many things we can use to help heal our bodies while we're here, and they give us all these tools to work with. Plus, we can just enjoy Kelowna. It's beautiful. We got a beautiful deck. We can sit out there in the evening. The weather's been great. Couldn't ask for a better holiday.
This is truly, as I said, this teaches you to take back your own power, to own your own day. With that being the starting block, it makes all things possible, not just in your treatment, but in your life. So just coming here, if you took nothing else away, being instilled with that sense of purpose, is going to do wonders. It's going to totally change your mindset.
Yeah. And my feeling, I agree with that 100%, and definitely would tell people to come. You have to come with an open mind, but you're going to leave with a different feeling. I came here with the expectation to fix some physical things, but I'm really learning that it's your mind and your mental things that really translate into the physical. And so you have to come knowing you're going to be
ripped apart,
put back together with love. And that's the big change. Like, that's the big thing, is to just know that you got to look at yourself, and we don't want to do that, guys especially. It's really tough to look deep and say, I'm happy, but is everybody in your family happy? Is your family functional or dysfunctional? Am I going to protect them and watch them and make sure that my family goes out and is good? And if we all did that, the world would be a better place. We wouldn't have so many problems, and that this group is better than that group, because nobody's better than anybody. We're all people. We're all here. So that's a big thing. That's just huge.
I just think that this is an awesome opportunity to, it's really getting comfortable with the things that have always made you uncomfortable. The whole process doesn't always feel good, because you're going to have to learn to change ways about yourself that really weren't in your best interest. And it's so interesting to learn about the subconscious and how there's so much of it that is actually controlling us in our day without us even knowing it, contributing to our problems emotionally, physically, in your family, in your interactions with others, in your interactions with yourself. And when something can teach you self-love, to love, honor, and respect yourself, what better thing than that? So go for it.